Hello and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. Please remember to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe, and let's get straight into another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Inghams, and we're going to be giving them a challenge. Chris, Sarah, when you get round to watching this, sometime after you've reached your island, which you may be halfway across by now, who knows, we have a challenge for you. In view of the recent revelation of the Sakuni deleting all their videos and taking their kids off YouTube, we thought we'd have a look at other family vloggers who have done the same thing, because there have been a few. I've covered a few, and I'm going to challenge Chris to do the same. This first one is, her name is Shaylee. She's a vlogger, but she used to do family vlogging for 4 years, and she has a relatively small channel, is 100,000 subs.
A lot of family vlogger friends, and I still know a lot of family vloggers, especially the people who joined around the same time frame that I did. And most of those people that joined in that time frame aren't doing it anymore. All the larger channels are, because they've made it into a profitable business that they can't escape from now. But I feel like for a lot of the channels that were like my size and somewhere in between in those numbers, we don't do it anymore. Number one, it wasn't beneficial, and number two, we see the dangers. Like I told you, I made a previous video talking more about the dangers of YouTube, but basically to summarize it, I found my kids on some predatory playlists on YouTube, which means I found videos of my kids which were meant to be very innocent, videos of them in their diapers, videos of them eating food but with no shirt on. I mean, just babies being babies, because babies have their clothes off most of the time. Never thought twice about it. Not even twice. Honestly. And I know in my last video people were like, you are very naive. I was. I admit it, right? But we're human, we make mistakes, and there's grace. Thank God for that, because I went through a phase of beating myself up once I found out that my kids were on these playlists and that they were being viewed by predators, both female and male, in such a disgusting way. It revolted every part of me and made me never want to do it again.
So Chris, this is what happens when you show your babies. This isn't just little children or even older children that you like to show in, you know, Isabel, how you've showed Isabel over the years. This is just little babies, seemingly innocent clips of babies. You've got babies on your channel. How does that make you feel? Right, this next one, we've covered her recently. It was a very sad story, but also a very uplifting one. Cam and Fam, and she's recently had the revelation of closing her family channel business. She has 1.63 million subs, and she's now going it alone.
Hours reading the comments, seeking approval, and almost even seeking negativity. Like if there was a negative comment, I had to see it. One day I found this gossip website where the whole thing is just talking about YouTube moms. Turns out there's like a whole community on the internet for that. And it was absolutely brutal. And it hurt the most when they were kind of right, when they were kind of spot on. These people were really good at like reading between the lines. Most of the people saw what I posted and were just like, oh, good video, very happy, fun, I love it. And other people kind of started to see where I cut specific clips, where it seems like I cut certain things out, and really just pick me apart. I've never read anything more horrible, honestly. And I was like addicted to reading this. So that cycle of running around, trying to make everything perfect, spending the next day reliving my previous day, editing it, posting it, seeking approval, seeing the hate, checking this gossip site a million times a day, I drove myself freaking crazy. It was so unhealthy for me to be on that schedule, on that cycle.
I feel like she's talking to you specifically, Sarah. You must be driving yourself insane, going through all the gossip sites, all the hate comments, and just reading it over and over again. You pass it off as if it's nothing and that you laugh it off, but we know that that's not the case.
Some genuine moments. I don't want to say that my whole channel was fake. Everything we did wasn't real. A lot of the time we were showing the best of us, and some of the time we were just pretending to be the best versions of ourselves. But there was still real love there and real joy, but we were just like scripting out these moments, scripting out this super fun day as a family that at the time probably wouldn't have happened if we weren't gonna film it.
Does that strike a chord with you, Chris? Do you ever script out your days? Do you ever go to the park just to film content, whereas you wouldn't have gone to the park otherwise? Does that sound like something that you would do? Okay, so the next family vlogger, ex-family vlogger, we've also covered on this channel. It's a really, really, really good insight. I mean, they all are, but this is it covers a lot of the topics. She is called Haley. This channel is called Hi, I'm Haley. She has 271,000 subs, and she gave it all up, and this is what she had to say.
Basically what was happening was videos of mommy vloggers whose kids, say we're in a diaper, we're shirtless, we're in the bathtub, just things that you would think would be very, very innocent, but to a sick mind it's not. These videos were starting to get saved to pedophile playlists, and these playlists were getting spread around to others like candy. This made a lot of content creators uncomfortable. A few of them completely stepped back and away from YouTube in general. Some channels made changes to do their best to avoid being put in that situation again, and others just completely ignored it. And so a lot of the content that is being created that are centered around children are a lot of the embarrassing and I just feel like inappropriate moments. For example, periods. These young teenage girls who are growing up on these family channels, they don't have privacy. And think about it, it's an already embarrassing situation that they have to reenact out for the vlog for that clickable content. At least I hope it's reenacted. For these kids, it's very possible that it makes it harder to say no when it comes to what's being shared. If they say no, they miss out on providing content. And with this particular topic, they miss out on very clickable content. Another thing that ties in with the period thing that I just find inappropriate is the first time bra shopping. I don't think I need to explain why that's inappropriate. Just why are you watching a preteen look for bras? I'm genuinely calling you out. Where does the line get drawn? The birds and the bees talk also seems to be something that is common now that these YouTube kids are getting older. More things that are inappropriate to use with children, and I think a lot of you guys can agree with this. Using the children's injuries for clickable content. Now, I am 100% guilty of this. I am not going to sit here and say shame on you all when I am the same one who did it. So a while back, I went on like an Instagram rant, because I will do that occasionally, and I basically posted how YouTube moms love when their kids get hurt because that makes it clickable content. Now I know that sounds bad, and obviously they're not sitting there praying that their child gets hurt every day. I am not saying that. I'm not saying they're monsters in any way. However, when something bad does happen, that's clickable content right there. That is something that is going to get you a lot of money, also depending on how long the video is, how many ads are in place, so on and so forth. Now, my video, actually it's one of my most viewed videos. It is at 6 million views, and it is Hazel's 3-day hospital stay. That was not only my most viewed video, but that was also the video where I made the most money on. I made over 10 grand on that video, all because Hazel had an asthma attack and needed to stay overnight at the hospital. Now,
so again, Chris, does this sound like something that you've done? Have you exploited your daughter's privacy? Have you exploited your children's tears and sadness and injuries and hurt and pain? Have you done that? This woman has made, she's saying she's made $10,000 or more than $10,000 off one video for that. Just how much money have you been making, Chris, off your children's injuries?
So obviously I think we can agree that privacy is a huge issue when it comes to these children's lives. Their lives become all about the vlog. And you want to know how I know that? Because their parents' lives become all about the vlog.
Chris, your kids' lives are all about the vlog. That's what she's saying there. When you say that your kids can do whatever they want, they can be on the vlog, they can't be on the vlog if they want to, it's up to them. But at the end of the day, is it? Just think, if you are focused so much on your vlogs every single day, just imagine how much that is being put onto your kids, how much they are going through the same thing. Is it fair? Is it fair to put that pressure on your kids?
If they aren't getting a camera shoved in their face, there are security cameras throughout the entire house constantly being recorded as well. So if there is an embarrassing moment, if there is a scary moment, if there is an emotional moment, there is always an opportunity of it being captured. There's always an opportunity of cashing out on it. Vlogging. And once you keep vlogging your daily or almost your daily life, you literally give your followers a blueprint of your day-to-day life. They know your everyday schedule. They know when you're going to be out of the house. They know when you're going on vacation. For some people, they know where they're going on vacation. They have house tours and apartment tours, giving a layout of their home, basically showing intruders points of entry and exit on how to get to the children's rooms.
Oh, Chris. So, do we know when you're going out of your house? Do we know when you're going out? Do we know when you're going to be out of your house? Do we know the layout of your house? Do we know where the kids' rooms are? What don't we know? What privacy have you set there? I know you will turn around and say, "Oh well, the haters exposed our house." Well, I have my suspicion it wasn't the haters. I think it was Sarah, actually. But the point being there is, even still, you vlogged every sinew of your house, every part of it, where the kids' rooms are, where they are in relation to certain things, how somebody would exit the house, how you would get into the house. You've vlogged all of it, and none of that is anybody else's fault but yours. So you can blame everybody all you like, but if you haven't vlogged it, it would not exist. Now the next lady she's a relatively small channel, but she has very valid points, and obviously she's seen a lot. So she's called Laura Delaney from the Delaney Diaries. She has 17,000 subs, and here's what she has to say.
As much as we like to think it's so innocent and just showing your child like in their swimming costume or anything like that, people get off on that shit and we need to be careful. And I feel like a lot of these family channels are so aware that their content is being consumed by these people. I mean, it may be a bit glossed over. They may think, oh, you know, there might be an old, you know, weird person that wants to come and view my kids, but there's a massive percentage of people and you're basically giving it to them for free, like, and that's the sort of mindset I'm currently in. And you think that although they know this, would they be willing to lose like a massive chunk of their subscribers and followers for the sake of just protecting their children? No, because they are so aware. I mean, I know even like family bloggers and, you know, smaller YouTubers that know that their children have been on CP sites, but they're still not willing to take their kids off. And it's like, you know, I'm afraid once you put your kids online and you are monetizing them and earning so much money from these children, because, you know, there are a lot of people that like to view family channels, at what point do you think, yeah, let's just take the kids off? They're not gonna, because it's a constant income stream and, you know, people always watch. And like, especially these thumbnails that people make nowadays, like my daughter starts her periods, my son is talking about masturbate, like all this stuff, and people do it. And I think it's as if they just do it knowing that they're gonna get thousands of these pornos over to watch it and give them views and money.
You see, Chris, once upon a time I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I thought to myself, well, maybe he doesn't truly know the extent of the people that are watching his videos. maybe he's just ignoring it. Maybe he's in denial, perhaps. But now, having listened to all these family vloggers, and also from what I've noticed myself, there's no way that you don't know. There is no way that you don't know where your kids' videos will end up. There's no way that you don't know what is happening with your kids in the videos. There's no way that you don't know the type of people that are watching the videos and what they're doing with the videos. There is literally no way. I'm telling you right now that that's what's happening. So there's no reason for you not to. So what you do from now is up to you. Do you continue along the path and to ignore the problem, or do you choose child protection, or is the money just more important to you? The last family we're going to focus on is, they're called the Sly Fox Family. They've been vlogging for a number of years, but the last couple of years they've taken some time out, and they're back now, but they've changed their content, and they are going to tell us why. They have 1.64 million subs, and they're going to tell us why they've decided to change their content.
When we decided to come back, the one thing that I told Andrew that I wanted was to make sure we stayed completely away from what we did when we were doing YouTube all the time. I don't want to do gimmicks. I don't want to be who we're not. I don't want to not be creative. I said I'm cool with coming back. I just don't want to be anything like what we put on before.
Yeah, no fakeness, no clickbait, no sensationalism, no borderline exploitation of tiny things that happen in our lives.
No exploitation. It's an interesting concept, right, Chris? Can you follow suit and do no exploitation?
We were caught up in a machine that we were no longer blinded to. We began to see that the content that we were making was not true to who we are. Jaden, how did you feel about it when we were constantly doing like the gimmicks and the things? I mean, I know that works on YouTube, and a lot of family channels, that's still their primary thing, is like shock factor, sensationalism, borderline exploitations, things like that. And we were guilty of a lot of that stuff too. Like, how did that impact you? Like, how did you feel from that?
It was
Tell me
boring,
about it. Boring?
cheesy, and cringy.
And Chris, their daughter is a couple of years younger than Isabel, so the thoughts and feelings will be fairly well aligned. Is your daughter feeling the same way, that it's all cringy and cheesy? Is that how Isabel feels? And I'm sure that is probably very, very light compared to Isabel's feelings on it. Have you ever thought about how Isabel feels about the content you're putting out there to thousands of people?
And I think I look back on some of the things, like thinking like birthdays or her bee sting video, and I just kind of like questioned myself a little bit, like why did we feel the need? Why do we feel the need as family vloggers to film moments like doctor's appointments, or if your child gets a bee sting? I think that it's a fine line, and I'm not judging anybody else's family out there that decides this is what they want to do. For me, I know my heart, and I know that stepping back from YouTube and looking at what we did for a couple years, I don't feel right about that at all. And that's not who I am, and that's not who you are.
Yeah, and I don't think initially we even realized
it's just what you did, that
we were declining,
crossing the line,
slowly declining. It was because it just wasn't right. And then me and Hannah had a conversation a few years ago, and we were like, this doesn't feel right. And I remember you saying back to me, it was our old house, and you're like, I agree, I completely agree. We were like perfectly on the same page, and we're just like, this is not a good representation of our family. It's not a good we're not being good role models to you. We're not being good role models to our kids. And
plus, I'm gonna just be super real and super raw and honest. There's a lot of money in YouTube. And and there was a lot of money coming in, and you do get blinded and
yeah.
lines get blurred.
Opportunity after opportunity just comes in so quickly.
So I do feel like for us coming back, it was very clearly discussed in our family that we would not be anything like what we were before. Not only was that not who we are, but that is also a line that we are not willing to cross anymore.
So Chris, has any of this had any effect on you at all? Has it made you stop and think? Has it made you think that maybe you're doing the wrong thing? Maybe you'll take your kids off YouTube? I challenge you, take your kids off YouTube. John Boy did. These have all done it. At the end of the day, all these families that I've shown here today they've all gone through it. They've all come out the other side, and they've had revelations about how they've realised what they were doing was wrong. They've had to learn the hard way. But other channels should use these examples and use it to their benefit as to why not to proceed with a family channel. They are good examples of what can be achieved and what can't be achieved, and what will happen if you put your kids online to everybody. And as for Chris and Sarah, rumour has it they are still heading across that island. So thank you very much for joining me today. I've enjoyed your company. I hope you've enjoyed mine. Please give me a thumbs up, and 2 if you can. And subscribe to my channel and get me up to 10,000 subs, because that would be much appreciated. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.